Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I go by the name of Aphrodite. Today's gonna be a blackout message, you guys. I'm doing it a little different today and it should be fairly short because I went ahead and scribed something and I wanted to make sure I went ahead and did this video because I told you guys, well, if you're from Instagram, I told you guys I was gonna be doing a video for Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So yeah, I decided to write something this time because I didn't want to be here talking all day. And I don't know, I'm feeling like when I scribe, it's sometimes a little better because I'm much more in the flow. You know what I mean? Like I am a writer at heart. So yeah, I don't know. It just helps me get my thoughts down a little clearer. Although I do like to just vibe with y'all. I really like when I'm in my raw form, just kind of talking to you guys. Like I really do enjoy and love that. But I just wanted to keep this, concise and not I just don't want to just be talking, okay? And I don't want to be talking a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. So yes, Saturn retrograde, just before I start though, Saturn retrograde. So it started June 29th and it's going into November 15th, okay? So after I do this video, I probably will have other videos that I make going throughout, different readings and stuff. Not necessarily to do with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, but obviously it's going to be going on. So it will have some impact on the messages that I get through my readings, okay? So yeah, I was going to do a reading. I think it was, I don't know, it was either last week or a couple weeks ago, or maybe I think a day or two after the last message that I did. But I'm sorry, y'all, the energy is just so heavy. It was so heavy, and I was like, I don't want to tap into that. And I'm like, there's enough readers, because we all pretty much, the same energy is going to be present. So for the most part, our delivery is different, but there are a lot of readers that are picking up on the same energy because we're just all very much in tune with one another and what's going on right now in the collective. So I'm like, they got y'all covered. They got y'all covered in that aspect. I'm like, I know none of us are the same, right? And our messages are all going to come off differently. So it's like, no, don't think just because someone else is talking about it that you're not needed, because you are. But personally, for my own mental, I was like, I don't want to tap into this energy. It was just giving very, very karmic energy, and I don't want to do that. I don't like pulling heavier energy. I will, but I'm always going to alchemize it somehow. We're not just gonna sit and be like, oh yeah, so they're doing you so dirty and yada yada yada. No, baby, we're gonna go ahead. So how can we better ourselves though, right? It's we're not gonna focus on negative energy and then not also talk about how to better ourselves. So anyways, with that being said, let me go ahead and jump into reading this because I was not supposed to do that longo intro. So anyways, this is what I have for you guys, okay? Saturn is retrograde in the last astrological sign of Pisces, the dreamers, with their key phrase being I believe, following behind Aquarius or I know. During this retrograde, we also have the 888 portal in Leo season, I will. This portal will be especially potent because the 26th of August also breaks down to 888. So Virgo energy will also be present with their key phrase being I analyze. So how do these energies affect us, and how can we benefit or alchemize the energy to its full potential? Saturn is always viewed as one of the harder planets because it symbolizes karma, which is typically viewed as negative, but it is all about your perspective and how you view your own hardships and the lessons you've had to learn, not only in this lifetime, but previous lifetimes before that. If we were never presented with challenges to face, we would never gain more insight or knowledge. We would never get stronger, and we would never progress because there would be no need. It's what we do in these moments that determines whether we elevate or stay stuck. Will you rise to the occasion or remain a victim of your circumstances? Though traumatic experiences have a way of breaking us down, it is not meant to destroy us, but destroy our own self-limiting beliefs that create a world of illusion rather than aligning us with our higher purpose and highest timeline of what we envision for our own future. Our minds are powerful tools that manifest reality. Before creation, there was a thought, and before that thought was spoken into existence, it was only an idea living in the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind makes up 95% of the brain, which is very close to the percentage of water found in the ocean, or found in oceans, sorry. Water, specifically oceans, symbolizes the subconscious as a portal from the non-physical to the physical. We give birth to the things that live in our minds, making it a part of our conscious reality, whether we are aware of it or not. So imagine how powerful you become when you gain access to your subconscious and you begin to actively program and reprogram your thoughts and beliefs. You can no longer be made to feel or be a victim of your reality, but a co-creator. A thought is energy being directed, and when that thought becomes an action, it is energy in motion, hence the word emotions. When you understand your own emotions and how to regulate them, you understand the people around you and the world a lot more. Everything is run off of emotions because everything is energy. So when you are not aware of your emotions, it means that someone else can manipulate these emotions to their own benefit and creations, just like one might use a battery to power a remote. That is ultimately the matrix we live in. Pisces in the 12th house encompasses escapism, substance abuse, illusions, hidden enemies, toxicity, karmic soul ties, etc. When viewing the darker aspects of the 12th house, it causes me to think of the inner child, and in this sense, it is the suffering of the inner child, where your dreams and imagination go to die if you allow your trauma to overtake you. Your inner child is your key in spirituality. Curiosity, wonder, excitement, optimism, all traits of Pisces' co-ruler Sagittarius. The child seeks the truth, seeks to understand everything about everything. This retrograde is essentially going to strip you down to your rawest form, and the more willing you are to trust this process, the better it will be. The more you resist, the more painful it will be. We've all been in the position of hanging on to someone or something longer than we should have, and it hurt a lot more worse when we were forced to let go. It's the same feeling for this retrograde. You cannot enter a new cycle if you're still hanging on to the past, no matter how much you may want new. If you're still hanging on, you are communicating to the universe that you are in fear, and fear will keep you stuck in repetitive behaviors and cycles. You are not being asked to forget the past, but you are being asked to release it. What we experience and go through shapes us into who we are, including every experience we've had with someone else. Sorry, y'all. These were meant to serve as lessons. When you apply the lessons, it becomes wisdom. It doesn't matter how many years of experience you have in this world if you didn't learn the lesson. You will end up learning the same lesson over and over and over again, like you're stuck in a time loop. Hence the reason 12th house represents escapism and addiction. Not everyone wants to do the work, and not everyone knows how to break free from their circumstances. There are different levels of trauma that completely alter the functions of the brain, creating mental and emotional conflict within oneself when they ignore it and allow it to fester. It becomes its own entity, a separate identity, because a new one has been created to keep up the facade that everything is okay. You lose who you are because you're trying so hard to forget what happened to you, to cope with it without actually facing it. When you don't forgive and release, it shackles and imprisons you. For some, they end up exactly like those who did them wrong because they take on that energy. We are all faced with fated events, whether pleasant or unpleasant, and from there it is up to us what choices we make that ultimately determines the path we will travel. When we are intentional with these decisions and where we are focusing our energy, we move into our destiny rather than our lives being left in the hands of fate. You become a magician, someone who dances with life to create more of it. Who are you when no one else is looking? What is it that you want for yourself? This portal approaching is literally a gateway to either karma or dharma, which is good fortune for anyone who doesn't know. What you put out is what you will get. Who you entertain, you will attract more of, because that is the message that you are communicating. Let go of what no longer serves you and be open to receive. Set clear intentions about your future goals, but remain flexible because you never know how it may come into fruition. As you go through life-altering changes, some people may fall by the wayside. People may be removed from your life and you may not understand why, but when you are not fully in your power, people are very comfortable around you. Once you've stepped into your power, you are going to disturb a lot of other people's demons. You can't take everybody with you. Sometimes paths split, and if they are meant to come back together, they will when they are aligned. But in this season of cultivation, you need to be very intentional with the seeds you sow, because come harvest time, you don't want any snakes in your grass. Everything that was once hidden is coming to the light. Do not attempt to hang on to a lie. Allow the truth to set you free and use that knowledge to strategize moving forward. During this time, it's important to discern between reality and projection, fear versus truth, manipulation versus love, mask versus authenticity. Keep your thoughts away from self-doubt, self-sabotage, guilt, and don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing yourself and what makes you happy. The people who love you will respect your boundaries. but you first have to implement them. People only do what you allow, so treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Stand firm in your beliefs and your identity, and everything else will roll off of you. In moments where you don't know what to do with your pain, simply express and create in whatever capacity you can. Get that energy flowing out so new energy can come in. Some of my greatest creations were birthed out of places of anger or sadness. I fuel those emotions into passion. That passion turned into melody. That melody turns into color and images. And I surrender to the process, healing myself, remembering who I am, and that I can recreate happiness again. And so can you when you choose to become the alchemist. Okay, so that's a little spiel that I wrote. Guys, I don't like how robotic it sounds like when I write stuff. So I was like, at first I was just gonna do bullet points, but I was like, I'm gonna be here forever if I do that. So I just decided to write that. I was like, let's just keep it short, simple about what exactly is this, okay, retrograde going to be. And hopefully I covered enough there. Obviously, y'all know me. I'll just make more videos if I have more to say. So, but one thing that I was feeling driven to say is during this time, also be very, very careful, okay? Because one thing I was getting, it sounds like that I was getting from the energy when I was going to do the reading is that what was present was, it was sounding like an STD orgy and a bunch of unwanted pregnancies, okay? So like, be very, I know I keep saying the word intentional, but be intentional, baby, with where you are directing your sexual energy. Okay, be very discerning of who you are engaging with. Use protection if you are not looking for a child. But also this is even if you're in a relationship, okay, because people are very desperate right now. So for people trying to hang on to you, like say you're trying to move away from someone, but people who are trying to hang on to you, right, who are showing certain levels of desperation, like I'm even getting like some people like trying to trap people with pregnancies, okay? So also false pregnancies, that's a big thing. So unwanted pregnancy, false pregnancy, yeah, sexual manipulators. I know I said emotional manipulators, but sexual manipulators as well. I mean, seduction is technically manipulation, but anyways, so yes, just saying, be very careful of that. Also, when you're going out, watch your drinks. Okay, like don't leave your drinks sitting around, and make sure the people that you're out with that you can actually trust them. Your willpower is also going to be very, very important. That's why I'm saying, like, you need to remember who you are during this time. Remember who you are and remember your beliefs, your morals, your values. Like, baby, I know you got some. You got at least one, okay? Everybody got at least one moral. So, but yeah, and even like if you don't have, you know, the strongest, greatest willpower, which I mean, we all go through, I think, like, you know, different, you know, levels of development when it comes to willpower. But if you know you don't have a strong willpower, you may just want to stay away from substances altogether during this time, because like I said, it's just giving, you know, if you can't control your actions when you're under the substance, you may not want to engage much during this period. Now, I'm not saying you won't have consequences regardless, but your consequences during this retrograde is going to be a lot worse. And especially after the 888 portal, the consequences for your actions are going to be a lot worse than they would normally be. And it's because during this time, it's like, it's not just us who are going through this elevation, but it is also the earth, right? So Saturn is also representative of the physical earth, okay? And so things like natural disasters, you've seen things like that, right? I remember I talked about fire recently. I don't know if we're actually gonna have a fire, but I did in my dream, I saw smoke from a fire. But I took that more symbolically as cleansing, because right now the earth it's cleansing itself. I already said there's going to be a lot of natural disasters that take place. So, and because we are also reflections of the spiritual, right? The same way that the earth is, we are basically mirroring the earth. So it's like, if the earth is cleansing itself to evolve and elevate, it's like we have to do the same if you want to survive, right? Like you have to evolve to survive, just like any other animal or being, right? It's like if the circumstances around you are changing, you have to change too, otherwise you're just gonna die off, okay? So, so yeah. So yeah, like I said, yeah, the consequences are going to be a lot worse, because it's like this it's like spirit is literally like whipping us into shape at this point. Like you're getting whipped into shape. So it's like, and then it's like if you still go against it, it's like, okay, you've chosen, like we like I don't want to say giving up on, but like like we've given up on you. But it's kind of just like, I mean, everyone has free will, right? Everyone has free will. So whatever choices, decisions you make, they are literally going to manifest as your reality. So that's what I'm saying. Be very intentional, because once this little shift takes place, oh yeah, like that might just be your reality going forward. It doesn't mean like change is always possible, but it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder if you don't go ahead and kind of take like all of these things happening. If you don't take it as like as a warning, right? Or if you don't take it as, you know, more so the universe trying to assist you, and then you just decide, okay, well, I'm not gonna listen, to then later you decide to do it, and then you ain't got no assistance. It's like, it's just gonna be a lot harder for you to break out a certain cycle. So it's like, go ahead and take the help while you have it, while the cycle is trying to end itself. Like, let the cycle end itself, okay? Because I have been in so many situations where I've held on to things for longer than I should have, and it's always a lot worse when you don't just go ahead and go with that initial thought to like, okay, like something's off, or I'm not supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be ending this, whatever. And like I said, this doesn't just have to be like with people, but even like, let's say work. Now work is somewhere I will get up and quit. Like I'm good for quitting. I ain't gonna lie. When it comes to things that I don't want to do, yeah, like, nah. And then the other thing, though, also be aware of psychic attacks and evil eye. So that's why I'm saying, just kind of, I mean, psychic attacks don't really work if you're someone who is like very, like firm in yourself and your beliefs. They don't work, okay? So, but it's like, you have to be aware of it to know, because for people who aren't aware of it, you can just be thinking that your thoughts are your own thoughts, but really it's someone sending you a psychic attack and they want you to feel a certain way, right? They're basically attacking your mental and your psyche, the way you look at yourself, look at life, etc. And then also evil eye, okay? So move in silence. I know I've been moving in, I ain't even talking about speaking on nothing. Everything I'm working on or I gotta do, I'm doing that in complete silence, not speaking before, you know, what do you call it? Just not speaking too soon, okay? Don't speak too soon on anything. And it's like, obviously people who you can trust, but I want to say, like, even like I haven't been telling nobody nothing, like nobody. Like if it's anything that I want to protect, like I'm just not talking about it. And it's not because, it's not necessarily if I'm not talking to someone about it, it doesn't mean that I don't trust them. It just means like I'm just trying to protect something, so I want to keep it to myself. But also, I'm one of those kind of people to where it's like, I already put a lot of pressure on myself, so I don't need any added pressure from anyone else. I'm like, the more people that know about it, the more pressured I'm going to feel to like get it done. And one thing I don't do is I don't rush myself, because I'm just like, you can't rush genius, okay? You can't. You can't rush a masterpiece. And if I want things to be a masterpiece, I can't rush it, okay? So I kind of blame that on my Taurus Mars. It's like I'm very practical, but it's like I used to be really impulsive, so now I'm like super practical, but sometimes I feel like I'm a little too fucking practical, because I'm like, bitch, I know we can move a little fucking quicker. like we gotta rush it, but damn. You know? But anyways, I think that's all for now. If I have anything else to say, I'll just make another video. But in the meantime, between time of next time that y'all see me, or I see you, or you hear me, or I can't really hear you, but you know what I mean. I'm sending you so much love, light, peace, joy, happiness. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.